Welcome back to MDL Crochet. This tutorial is going to cover the Bunny Meadows blanket. The dimensions will be in the description box. It is an 8-row repeat, and I show you how to do the 8 rows. And then it's just a repeat. We have the border that's built into it. And I give you the exact number of stitches you need to do. It is done with a 4-weight yarn and a 6.5 millimeter hook. And that should come out to roughly about widthwise at about 37 inches, give or take. And then you will do a total of 18 repeats. And this is including your border. And you will be at about 48 inches in height. So it's a good baby blanket, good Boggy Creek blanket, good blanket for somebody in a wheelchair, a good toddler blanket. It is very easy to do, just doesn't look like it is, but it really is easy to do. So with all that being said, let's just get to it. So as I said, all the information for this blanket pattern is for sizing is in the description. This requires 2 different stitches that I've already taught the past 2 weeks. They will be the bed straw flower stitch as well as the bunny stitch. And then we're also going to be using the simple stitch and the reverse stitch. The reverse stitch is going to create our border for us, as you saw in the right before we started here. So all the sizing information that you're going to need for a baby blanket will be in the description box. The swatch I'm going to be doing is going to be a pretty small swatch, but it's going to give you the idea of what we're going for. So I went ahead and I chained 25. So with Tunisian, we go through the back bump. So go ahead and pull up your loops and your back bumps. And this is your border color. So we're going to do the border built in. So go ahead and pull up your loops. Alright, so we have our 25 up. And you can count to make sure. And then it's the standard return pass. So chain 1, yarn over, and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Repetitively until you get to the end and you only have the 1 loop left on your hook. Alright, pulling through the last few right now. So, how we're going to do this is we're going to create our built-in border to stop the curling. So the best way to do that is a reverse stitch. So we're going to do 4 total rows of reverse stitch. The foundation row does count as row 1. So we're going to go ahead and pull up 3 more rows, and they're all going to be reverse stitch. If you need a refresher for the reverse stitch, I'll post a video right here. But I'm going to go ahead and get all these reverse stitches pulled up, do the remaining 3 rows, and I'll be right back with you for the next part of this blanket pattern. Alright, I'm pulling through the last few right now. So we have our 4 rows up. Now we're going to do our border, and that is 4 reverse stitches on the side. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to start our next part of it. We need to add our grass color. And how we're going to do that, but we're going to add it as we normally would add it. But the very first row of our grass color needs to be in the reverse stitch so we can keep that reverse stitch going for our border. So you're just going to pull it up as a reverse stitch. And just do a reverse stitch all the way down in your color. But we're not going all the way with it. I placed a stitch marker here because we need the 4 stitches for a reverse stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need our end stitch. So that's where we'll stop and then pick up our border color, add another border color into it. So now we add another border color in. It's the same color, it's just another strand. This, you're going to have a lot of strands going in, but nowhere near as bad as regular Tunisian color work, because you're working with 2 borders at a time. You're doing your border at the same time, so you're adding more color into it, more strands of yarn. So we're going to go ahead and finish this row. Do the reverse stitches. And then we do our end stitch. And then it's chain 1, yarn over, and pull through 2. I'm going to show you how to handle the color change. And we're here at the color change. You just drop your border color right after you pull through. Drop your border colors, tighten that up a little bit, and then yarn over, and then you finish the pull through with the new color, and then you can go back and tighten that up a little bit. Boom. See how smooth that looks? And then you just go down until the next color change. And we stop at the pull through, pick up this border, yarn over it, and finish the pull through. And that's how you do color change. Now we're going to do, since we wanted this row to be reverse stitch, so we did it in the reverse. Now we're going to be pulling up simple stitches here in our grass color. Your border will stay the same. Keep it as a reverse. 1, it cuts down on the curl. 2, and I think it adds a really nice texture. So we're going to pull up our reverse stitches. Then we take our grass color and just pull up our simple stitches. The first one's going to be a little bit loose until we fix that. You can tighten it up. And then it's just simple stitches. So this area needs to be worked in an odd number. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now there's a reason why we did an odd number, and we'll be getting to that here shortly. Now go ahead, and to get this side, for your very first stitch on this border, to get it as a reverse stitch, you take your yarn, your border yarn, fold it along the back of your needle, and then you're just going to go in behind, keeping this up and out of the way, and you're going to poke through and get that loop that makes up that side. Then you can drop your yarn back around and pull it up. The reason why we do that is because it creates what we're looking for here. It's hard to get it to show up on this side stitch. This side stitch is fine. It's this side stitch and that side stitch. just because of the way we're working it, and that's where it starts. So if we do it that way, you get the effect. It creates the reverse stitch we're going for. And then just finish it up. Yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, and pull through 2 until your color change. Pay attention to your color changing. So we're at our color change. We've done our pull through. Before we chain 1 or yarn over and pull through, we take the new color, yarn over, and then pull through. And then just continue until your next color change. And then go back and tighten those up a little bit. And then you can tighten this one up because that's about the when you first put it on there. Tighten up just a touch. And you should never have to touch that again until you get ready to tie it off and weave it. Stop it right after you do your pull through. Use the new color as your yarn over to pull through. And that's how you do a color change. Tighten it up a little bit. So we need 3 rows of grass in order to do what we need to do for this pattern. That's 3 rows of simple stitch. So we got 1 more row to do. So pull up your reverse stitches. You're just going to copy exactly what we just did. Remember, we're here at the reverse stitch. Just take your yarn, it's coming out, and just hold it back. And then you're just keeping it nice and snug. Take your needle, and you can go through like this and split it to find it a lot easier, because sometimes these side ones are going to be hard to find. And like I always say, make your work work for you and not you for your work. You know, it makes it easy so you don't have to flip it and turn it over and look at it. And then chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Pay attention to your color changes. And I will meet you at the end because we're starting something different. Alright, for this next part, we're going to be doing our border as we've been doing in the reverse stitch. So just take your yarn around your needle like this, push it, and just hold it so you can pull up your loop and do your reverse stitches until we get through the border. So we can go ahead and get rid of this color because we're not going to need it for a little bit. So there's going to be tails. Now the next part of this, so what we're going to do now is add another color. This is our stem color, and you're just going to add it as a simple stitch. So go ahead and pull up your simple stitch in it, and then you need a yarn over because we're doing the extra long Tunisian front post double crochet, or as I like to call it, the drop down. So we need to count down 1, 2, and we're going to go into third. And what you're looking for is the front and back post. And the back post is going to be a little hard to find. It's usually snug against the previous, it's usually snug against the post. So I'm just going to show you on this one. And what you can do is just take your needle, go into the little gap between this post and the actual stitch, and you'll see the back post. So that's what we're going to do right here. And you'll yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And then it's a simple stitch. And then it's a yarn over, drop back down, pull up your loop by going through the front and the back post, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, and pull through 2. Simple stitch, then yarn over, 1, 2, go to the last one, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, and pull through 2. You're going to do that all the way down, and you should end up with a simple stitch as your last stitch. That yarn over we're doing is what gives us the length to be able to do this, to drop down. There are different versions of this stitch that allow you to go further or less down. But this is the exact same extra long Tunisian front post double crochet that is part of the block stitch. And we end it on a simple stitch. And then we just pick up our border color and do our reverse stitches in our border. Then do your end stitch, and then pull up your loop, chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2. Pay attention to your color changes. And we're at our color change. All we do is do the pull through and then finish the pull through with the new color. And we're going to be changing colors again. At the color change, do your pull through, yarn over, finish the pull through, and continue. And then we're going to start our border with our reverse stitch. And then now we're at our reverse stitch. So now we're going to be switching colors because we got our stems done. These are our stems and our flowers, or the petals. So we need to switch colors again. And this is a very colorful blanket, so it's going to be a lot of color switching for you. Alright, now we're adding a new color. And this is our flower color. So how we're going to do this is you're just going to do it as a simple stitch. Pull up your simple stitch. Now the very next one, which is the drop downs or the extra long Tunisian front post double crochets, you're going to do it as a knit. You're going to go in and pull up your loop. Chain 2, 1, 2. You're going to go back in, pull up a loop, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then go back into that loop, chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 3. That creates your flower. And then it's a simple stitch, And then we're going to do our knit, yarn over, pull up a loop, chain 2, 1, 2, go back in, pull up our loop as a knit, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, go back in as a knit, pull up our loop, chain 2, and then you're going to yarn over and go through 3. That closes off our flower, and then going in as a knit, as you can see, it pushes those onto the side to give it the bulb aspect at the bottom. Simple stitch, go in as a knit, pull up your loop, chain 2, 1, 2, go back in as a knit, pull up your loop, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, go back in as a knit, pull up your loop, chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over and pull through 3. That is the entire pattern for this row. So go ahead and complete this pattern, and then I will meet you at the return pass. Alright, so we're at the return pass, and it's the standard return pass. Chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2, and pay attention to your color changes. And on your flower, it's going to look a little loose, and that's just because of when we're building the flower up, that simple stitch got a little stretched, and that's going to happen. But we're going to counteract that here in a moment, because after this we're switching color again. Go ahead and get rid of your flower color. And for every row, you can change your flower color to whatever you want it to be. We're going to go ahead and do our border, which is all it's been the reverse stitch. So continue with your reverse stitch. And this is where we're changing color again. We're going back to our grass color. So go ahead and pull up a simple stitch in grass, and you're going to do simple stitches all the way down. And since when we close off the flowers, we created a simple stitch, and just continue doing that all the way down, and then your border, and then do a return pass. Pay attention to your color changes, and I will meet you back over here after we get done and back. Okay, so we're back on this side. We pulled up our loops all the way across, and now the next part of this is we're still doing the border as normal. The border will not change until we get done with the end, and then all it does is just get extended. So what we're doing now is we're going to pull up our loops, simple stitches in our grass color. Do not do the return pass yet, because we're changing that part up. Right, we're just about to the other side of the border. And just do it as we have been in the reverse. And then we're going to go ahead and start our return pass, but end it before we start doing the green here. So go ahead and chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop it right here because we're changing color. We can keep this one in. We can keep this one going because we're going to need this one. So let's go ahead and take our bunny color. Go ahead and yarn over it and use it as your pull through. Drop your tail and pick up the rest, and then just yarn over and pull through 2 all the way down until we get to here, and then change for your border. Because what we're doing now makes up the body of our bunny stitch. And then stop right before, pick up your border color, and finish up with the return pass. Tighten that up a little bit. Now go ahead and do your reverse stitches for your border, because we're about to change up a few things here. So that we got our border done, we're going to go ahead and do a simple stitch in our white. Now if we did everything with the Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, we're still going to be missing 1. So we need to yarn over. And then we're going to go through 2. 1, 2. That's Tunisian simple stitch 2 together. Pull up your loop and then yarn over. Tunisian simple stitch 2 together. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over again. Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, and then yarn over. After every time you do this, you need to yarn over to add that loop back, because you're decreasing it by 1. Now we're adding 1, so we're keeping it even. And we are there. Then you just drop your bunny color, pick up your border color, and do your border. In the reverse stitch. And the return pass is where it's going to change up again. We're going to pull that green back up. So we're going to do our reverse. We're going to do our return pass. So we're going to chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2 for our border. And we're going to stop 1 shy. And we're going to stop and leave that gap going. Let's go ahead and get rid of this because we don't need it coming in anymore. Because we're technically done with the bunny color till you have to use it again for your next. Take your grass color, bring it up, yarn over, and finish the pull through. Now you're just going to continue your return pass as you normally would, yarning over and pulling through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Even those yarn overs we did, because those are what's making our bunny. Because you can, here in a second, you're going to be able to see it taking shape. And then change your color, finish your border. And you can see our bunny taking shape now. But let's go ahead and get our border done. And that's the reverse stitch. Drop our border, pick up your grass. You're going to do a simple stitch first with the white or your bunny color, and then these diagonals, you're going to go behind them, and then there's the chain right there. You're going to poke through, yarn over, and pull up a loop. These are simple stitches, and then the vertical or the diagonals, go behind, poke through, and pull up your loop, because now you're locking the bunny stitch into place. And then on those very last one, it's just a simple stitch. And drop your color. Do your border like we have been doing. And then you chain one, yarn over, and pull through two, changing your colors. Changing your colors again. And that is the pattern. Now you repeat. This starts row 1 of the 3-row repeat down here. Because as you do 3 rows, and then you do your stems, a row, and then the bunnies, and then a row to close it off, and that starts your repeat. So you would do 2 more rows of simple stitch, and then your stem color, do the simple stitch, drop down, simple stitch, drop down, simple stitch, drop down, etc. Do the return pass, and then you do your flowers. Do the return pass. Then a row just simple stitch. And then we do our bunny, and then we're back. So you would just repeat what we just did. Now to close it off, what you would do for your border is a little different. We're going to continue with the reverse stitch on the border, but once we get into the color aspect, we don't want these to be reversed. So we're going to do it as a simple stitch. So we're bringing the border across. And then when we get to the other side, we continue as the reverse stitch there. And we can go ahead and get rid of that other reverse stitch color coming in, the border color. So we're going to go ahead and do our reverse stitch. and then it's a standard return pass. And then since our border is 4, you'll do 3 more rows in the reverse stitch. Complete reverse stitches all the way across. The reason why we didn't do a reverse stitch like in the grass color was because it would reverse stitch the grass color. That is not what we want. We don't want that to be reverse stitched. We want our border to be reverse stitched. So continue this all the way down, and you'll do a total of 3 more rows because we just did 1, and then we'll come back and we'll do the close off. I'm pulling through the last few right now. So how we're going to do this, we want to keep this as a reverse stitch. So we're going to do it as a reverse stitch close off, which is just pull up your reverse stitch, yarn over, pull up, and cast it off. And that will give us our reverse stitch, plus we're closing the project off. Alright, so we're just about at the end, and you would do the end as we normally would, going through the side stitch, pull up your loop, and cast it off. And now our project is closed. And then all you'd need to do is just weave in your tails, and you would have a really nice blanket. Again, the measurements for a baby blanket or Boggy Creek blanket will be in the description box. It is done in 4-weight. But I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And if you have, please give me a like and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. And leave me a comment. I will chit chat with you. And as always, folks, keep stitching.